Rebound comes off the floor, and Scott Brooks comes away with it. Kersey for the block. Porter to Anderson. Anderson a little strong with the shot. Thornton fighting for the rebound. Tipped by Anderson to Kersey for two. And credit Richard Anderson again with some good play.
Anderson kept the ball alive, but the play was made at the other end by Kersey to knock that ball away when they were in transition, and that's the kind of play that makes Kersey so valuable to Portland.
That lead back up to 14. Derek Smith trying to work his way free. Got that one to fall for him. Control the ball. Comes off to Brooks. Brooks front court to Anderson. He's had a hot hand from outside. Anderson with 22 points. Charles Barkley has not been a factor tonight. Only 14 points. Handful of rebounds. 6 of them.
But the Sixers are in the game. It's a 10-point ball game, and with both of the stars on the bench, these guys that are out there now have to come to the front. Steve Johnson has struggled, but he gets that one against Thornton.
And that is what Philadelphia cannot afford. And has checked in for the first time tonight for Philadelphia. It's Henderson and Brooks now.
Well, as an old coach said, somebody better guard that guy.
24 for Ron Anderson.
He is keeping them in the ball game.
Still a 10-point lead. Less than 10 minutes to go. Porter.
Well, Porter wanted a chance against the smaller Brooks. Good speed, better block by Derek Smith.
But trying to save it inbounds. It's still rolling loose. Henderson finally comes out of there with it. And he bounces it right into the hands of Richard Anderson, who's been Johnny on the spot tonight. There's Kersey for 2 more. Jerome Kersey has 17. And the Blazers have built that lead back up to 12. 110 to 98. We've got a timeout with 9:38 to go in the game. Out to Anderson. Down to 5 seconds left. Johnson puts up the hook and hits. Steve Johnson with 10 has really kept the Sixers' hopes alive with his outside shooting. Brooks will try one from three-point territory. He's dangerous from out there. A 36% shooter from three-point land. Those are his first points of the night. And it's down to a 9-point game. Duckworth couldn't hang on. Ball goes back to Philadelphia.
The interesting thing about it, it appears that Jim Lynam is not going to come back to Charles Barkley.
No.
Barkley sits down over there as they get closer and closer into the ball game.
This is probably as few minutes as Charles Barkley has played in the game all season, but he just was not a factor tonight. Jaminski hits for 2. Barkley playing the role of cheerleader. It's a 7-point lead now for Portland. This is the closest Philadelphia has been since way back early in the first quarter, a 20-second. It was when he went out of the game, the Sixers began to make their first move to get back in this game. And Kersey got hammered by Henderson. He's 3 out of 3 from the line.
Last night against the Los Angeles Clippers, Jerome Kersey could not find pay dirt. Came up with a big hoop with about 36 seconds to go, his second of the night, that gave Portland a little breathing room, and they were able to put that game away against the Clippers.
So Kersey with 19 points in the game now, 115, 106, and 9-point lead. Henderson speeds around the Portland defense, but there for the block is Kersey.
5 on the shot clock.
Jaminski, aware of the time, hits again from outside. Jaminski has 20, and it's a 7-point ball game.
I'm telling you, Pete, we're going to have a big man shootout at that All-Star game next year because all these guys are playing outside. Barkley now is going to come back in the ball game.
He's been on the bench for a considerable time. But now Philadelphia is right back in this one. Duckworth. And he'll go to the line.
This team, the Trailblazers, it's 35, just about 35 points and 19 rebounds.
And in the first meeting of these two teams this year, he had a career-type night, 41 points and 22 rebounds. But nothing like that tonight. 21 points now for Duckworth. 116-108, an 8-point lead. A lot of time left.
If you're Henderson, you've got to try to put some pressure on Drexler at the offensive end. Brooks for 3.
Right into the arms of Jerome Kersey. Porter rifles it down to Drexler. Clyde's jumper way off the mark into the hands of Barkley. Barkley starts the Sixers on the run, nearly lost control of the ball and finally did. He tried to saved control of the ball with a bounce pass, but he never really had control of it after he reached about midcourt. The turnovers are even. That was not the case in the first half when Philadelphia had almost twice as many as the Blazers did.
Well, that third period was costly to Portland in terms of turnovers. The defensive pressure by the Sixers has made a lot of that happen. Porter against Cheeks.
And Terry Porter now has 19. That laid back up to 10. Barkley and Anderson doing some banging around down low. Now Barkley runs into his own man, Jaminski, and Jaminski is hurt. Jaminski is hurting.
Portland has got the ball. They've got a 4-on-5. They can get it to the other end and get a score. They got a free man. Henderson fouls. Take that charge.
Jaminski's okay. He's going to stay in the ball game, but he was winded there for a while. Apparently that's all that happened. He got the wind knocked out of him. But he's going to come back into the game. And they need him because he has been one of the few offensive guns the Sixers have had tonight. Kevin Duckworth at the line. That's the first one. He's got 22.
Well, you know, both of these teams scored in a high rate in periods 2 and 3. Both have slowed down here. Duckworth comes up with 2 free throws to put the game back at 10-point advantage for Portland.
Under 5 minutes now. Cheeks works against Porter. Jaminski over Duckworth. Wouldn't go for him. Rebound Kersey, who's done a great job on the boards tonight. That is 16 rebounds tonight for Jerome Kersey. Kersey has also done a good job in scoring some points. Drexler now with 20.
Well, that play right there broke Jim Lynam's heart just a little bit because they thought they had Drexler under control, and from the weak side to get an easy 2 for Kersey.
Barkley pulls down the rebound. And he's tied up by Anderson. Oh, and Barkley can't believe that call. He said, it's my ball.
To tie him up.
Barkley operating with 4 white shirts around him. A rise for this Portland team. Drexler playing with 5. Kersey's just picked up his 4th. Barkley at the line. He now has 17. There's Clyde Drexler. He's playing with 5 persons.
Drexler has not been a factor here since the middle of the third period of play. He's re-entered the game. Perhaps his presence will help Portland down the stretch, but he really has not been involved.
4 minutes remain. It's a 10-point lead for the Portland Trailblazers. He's been ahead all night. Drexler puts it up over 2 Sixers, and he hits it. Drexler has 20. Kersey has 21. Porter has 19. Anderson over to, well, now comes down low to Barkley. Barkley had 3 men around him, so he gives it off to Anderson. Wouldn't go. Neither would Jaminski's tip. Rebound comes loose off the floor. Cheeks has it. Kersey Hawkins tries one from 3-point line and hits it. Hawkins now with 18.
Had 10 in the third period, and that's his first points here in the fourth. The Sixers within 9. They come back to Drexler.
Closing in on the 3-minute mark. Drexler takes one over Hawkins. That one wouldn't go. There is Kersey with another rebound. Another rebound after he missed the slam. So give Kersey 2 more rebounds. That gives him 18 rebounds.
Tuesday night when he played against the Phoenix Suns, he had a tremendous ball game then. So maybe it's only at home.
He now has 22 points in the game. Barkley had that rebound stolen away by Kersey. And he'll go to the line again. Jerome Kersey doing it all tonight. He has scored, he has rebounded, he has played defense.
Now, many times when you're the shooter, you're the one that knows before everyone else that you've missed a shot. He did a good job of reacting to his miss, chasing it, misses the first half of the free throw here. Sixers, or Portland wants a timeout.
Well, the clock stops with 2:55. Kersey after the timeout, hits that free throw. He had missed his last two. He has 10 in the quarter, 23 in the game. That lead back up to 11. Less than 3 minutes to go now. Cheeks works against Porter. Jaminski from the top of the circle. He loves that spot. 22 for Jaminski.
They come out with some pressure. And one of the ways to break it is to let a big man handle the ball. Anderson's pretty good at that, so they give it to him.
2.5 minutes to go. Porter working against Cheeks outside Anderson. Can he hit another three-pointer? That one wouldn't go. Rebound. Pulled away by Jaminski, and Clyde Drexler has fouled out. Jaminski had it. Drexler tried to tip it away, and he's going to be called for his 6th personal, and will have to leave the game. He'll sit down. Barkley underneath. Wouldn't it be something if Barkley all of a sudden got it going now? A 7-point Portland lead. That's as close as Philadelphia's been since the first quarter.
Portland has to play smart here in the final 2 minutes of play. They want to use some clock, but they also want to continue to attack at the offensive end.
Down to 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Kersey couldn't get that one to fall, but there's a big rebound for Kevin Duckworth. Steppe has to bring it back outside.
Steppe, that's his shot, was reluctant to pull the trigger, probably because he's still trying to make the team.
Duckworth with 7 left in the shot clock. Missed it. Cheeks the rebound. And Philadelphia can pull now to within 5. Anderson into the lane. Shot wouldn't go. Another rebound. Number 20 of the night for Jerome Kersey, who has been the difference in the game. Closing into the 1-minute mark. Porter takes it through the lane. Jaminski got him. Porter having another big game, playing a lot of minutes again.
Free throws down the stretch have hurt Portland in extending their lead. They've had chances at the line, clock stop, to really put some psychological pressure on Philadelphia, and they're usually coming away 1 of 2.
They shot the ball well from the line the first half. It's not been the case in the second half. Porter makes that one and now has 20 points in the ball game. It's an 8-point Portland lead. 1 minute to go in the game.
The Sixers are going to be thinking of 3-point plays, either the 3-point shot.
Anderson's shot wouldn't go. Steppe hustling to save that one to Anderson. And now with about 40 seconds left, Porter walks the ball down.
Well, they want to spread the court. They definitely want to use the clock now in this situation. The Sixers are going to have to try to make a steal and stop the clock so to have any success.
Steppe wide open from the top of the circle. He can shoot from out there with nobody on him. He has 4. 129-119, a 10-point lead. And it looks like the Portland Trail Blazers are going to be dead even with the Dallas Mavericks, who lost earlier tonight to Boston. Anderson launches one from out there and hits. That was only a 2-point attempt, however. 26 for Anderson. Steppe has a clear lay, but he'll bring it back outside as the fans begin to get to their feet here at the Coliseum.
Well, they just dribble it out. He decides to pull the trigger anyway.
And the Portland Trail Blazers have won their 4th game in a row for the new head coach, Rick Adelman, after losing the first 4 games after he took over. Our final score, the Portland Trail Blazers 129, the Philadelphia 76ers 121. We'll be back. 10-10 left in the third.